Okay, Professor Bear here. I'm going to show you how to use n8n. Let me show you my little prompt here. So right now it's creating the full workflow. I've also pre-created this, so it's going to take a couple minutes for this to generate. So I'm just go ahead and take the previous version and show you how to get it. So you just create a workflow, and then you paste it. So what I did is, if you want to do it here, you can just say paste. I just use Control V to paste. I'm going to have to go and get some API keys and things like that. I'm going to have to connect the dots. But this is a great way to get started. So what's beautiful about n8n? So n8n workflows are JSON. So n8n workflows actually look like this. But what's wonderful about the visual interface, the visual programming, is this is basically documentation of your workflow. And so you can use a tool like ChatGPT or Claude to create just, I want an n8n workflow. So again, here is my actual prompt. I'll paste it again. So here's that. The prompt is, I guess I didn't have it previously. The prompt is all the way up here. Here's the prompt. Can you create an n8n workflow that does X? So in this case, it was to do a little YouTube comment extractor and summarizer tool. But basically, can you create an n8n workflow that does something? It will generate JSON. JSON is essentially what n8n workflows are. So for example, here's our start node, and here's an HTTP request node, and here's an extract video ID node, etc. And this gets you started. So not all of these may work. And so what you can debug this if it doesn't work. Often for these things to work, you need to actually, like, for example, go to YouTube and get an API key. And that's something outside of the n8n context. But that's an easy thing to do. You just go to YouTube through your YouTube account and get an API key after creating a project. But what's beautiful about this is it gives you the logic of what you might want to do. So for example, here, when we get comments, they don't give us all the comments. I think they give maybe 40 at a time, 50 at a time, 100 at a time. But if you have a way more popular YouTube channel than me, you might have hundreds or thousands of comments, which means I have to get them in chunks of 50 or 100 or whatever the limit is. In which case, you would do this, and then once you have all the comments, then you would process the results with the language model. Of course, this language model is also going to require an API key. This is using a ChatGPT language model, but you could use others. But that's going to require an API key. So that's it. Again, to review what you do, I'm just going to create another one. You go and you paste it. Once you paste it, you'll get JSON. Then what you're going to do is, I'm just going to leave this page and create a new project. You just paste. You just paste the JSON in there. And again, if you don't want to paste the command line, you can just paste by pasting it. And it gets you started. As with everything in AI, it's a very iterative thing. So does the start work. Now HTTP request, does that work? Extract video ID, does that work? Get an API key. That's something outside the context of 8n8. You're going to have to register for that. But then you can literally, get this step to work, this step to work, this step to work, this step to work. And maybe your logic is a little different. Maybe you don't want this, or you want another step, or you want something else. But very quickly, you can get a scaffolding for what you want to do. Just simply ask, hey, create an n8n script to do X. It will return JSON. You paste the JSON in there, and then the work begins. Then you begin to connect the things. You begin to, does this step work? Does this step work? Does this step work? Does this step work? Okay, that's it for this video. I want to keep these videos super short. But if you want to get started making these workflows, you can literally ask any language model, Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini, whatever, to create an n8n flow. It's going to give you back JSON, and this is what JSON looks like. You're going to paste the JSON in there, and then your work begins. You begin to, get this node to work, this node to work, this node to work, this node to work, this node. Thanks for watching the Professor Bear YouTube channel. I hope you found this helpful. Hit that subscribe button, notification bell, all that stuff. Have questions, add a comment. I guess until next time, take care.